Favorable investment climate in Kazakhstan is contributing to the growth of foreign capital investments attracted to the country. Kazakhstan is the largest recipient of direct investments in Central Asia, as 70% of the region's FDIs are attributed to Kazakhstan. According to experts, the new developments have increased the number of foreign entrepreneurs. To minimize the administrative burden on investors and to simplify their government operations, many services in Kazakhstan will be available online based on the single window principle in 2019. More than 300 services will be provided at one spot. Foreigners can receive visas. If they bring their colleagues here, they can register their workforce. They also can register enterprises and receive tax registration or land papers. If they deal with natural resources, they can register the right for the subsoil use. Kazakhstan and Russia are exploring new opportunities for cooperation in digital economy. In Moscow, experts of the IQ Club discussed the anti-crisis strategy of interaction between the two countries in a changing global economy. The experts shared their opinions on Astana International Financial Center, as well as the monetary and financial systems of both countries.
Нам необходимо искать новые точки роста в
We need to look for new growth points in high-tech economy where industries have not yet exist. Last year, the big data market grew by more than 20%, and this year it will grow by 30%. The formation of similar areas of cooperation in these sectors leads to the discussion of joint training of professionals.
Сотрудничество в этих отраслях ребром ставит вопрос совместной подготовки кадров.
Economists also see potential for cooperation in conventional areas. As part of the state program for the development of animal breeding in Kazakhstan, 80,000 farms will be opened within 10 years.
Этим фермерам выдается очень привлекательный кредит.
These farmers are given very attractive loan for 15 to 20 years at a very convenient interest rate of 4% per annum, so that they can buy commercial beef cattle of nearly 50, 100 or 150 heads for development of their small farms, and basically these cattle is purchased in Russia. Kazakhstan is interested in acquiring the breeding stock of cattle and importing it as much as possible in the next 10 years in order to increase this number in the country from the 7 million heads to 12 million.
До где-то 12 миллионов.
Kazakhstan is allocating more funds for agricultural research and equipment to boost the agricultural industry's performance. At a specialized forum in Astana, Kazakh officials announced that the Kazakh government is planning to subsidize 80% of costs that businesses spend on agricultural science. The new amendments are discussed in Majlis, the lower house of the Kazakh parliament. According to the developers, adoption of the amendments will enhance cooperation between businesses and science. The topics for the agricultural researchers will depend primarily on the needs of the businesses.
Если в прошлом году было заложено 4 миллиарда 200 на программу целевых.
Last year, the government allocated 4.2 billion tenge for research and scientific programs, while this year they provided additional 3.3 billion tenge. 4.1 billion tenge was allocated for the purchase of scientific equipment and their maintenance. In addition, the basic funding has almost doubled. These 3.3 billion tenge were allocated due to the increase of the government's requests for scientific research.
Повышение на государственный заказ на научные исследования.
Regional research centers provide trainings for farmers on how to increase the yield with the help of new technologies. Also, over 60 model farms will be established in Kazakhstan to transfer successful experience and knowledge to other farms. A special horticultural research and production center will be established in Kazakhstan, which will bring together businesses of Kazakhstan as well as transnational companies, which will arrive in Kazakhstan to start producing high-quality goods together with the local scientists and businesses. The primary goal is to cover the demand of the domestic market. In the future, we will export our products to Russia. In the State of the Nation address, President Nazarbayev instructed to increase productivity and exports of agricultural products by 2.5 times by 2022. In the upcoming 3 years, the government will annually allocate 100 billion tenge to attract modern agricultural technologies. United Nations building has opened in Almaty. The facility was built at the initiative of President of Kazakhstan with consideration to high security requirements. All regional UN entities will be located in one building, which is almost 30,000 square meters. According to the experts, the consolidation of efforts will contribute to the successful promotion of the organization's ideas.
Этот центр будет иметь очень важное значение с точки зрения
The
продвижения.
center will play a very important role in terms of promoting the sustainable development goals throughout the entire Central Asian region, because all the UN agencies are located at one spot. Accordingly, the new location will provide better conditions for the entities to coordinate their activities, perform joint work, and implement joint projects. All these developments will certainly have a lasting effect on Kazakhstan and the Central Asian countries.
И Казахстана, и государств Центральной Азии.
The opening of the new office will also strengthen cooperation with international organizations and government agencies. In addition, according to the UNICEF Regional Director for Europe and Central Asia, the office in Kazakhstan opens great opportunities for talented young people in Kazakhstan.
For UNICEF, it's very important to be together as part of the UN family in this building here in Almaty. UNICEF has a regional hub here for Central Asia, and we feel the UN House will allow us to work more closely with UN agencies. This is the biggest gift Kazakhstan could give.
Kazakhstan exports domestic goods to 123 countries, offering about 800 commodity items. Some of the products allowed establishing cooperation with new sales markets. For example, this year, local producers started shipping chemical products to Ukraine, as well as construction supplies and machine building products to Uzbekistan. Kazakh companies are also exporting sugar to Uzbekistan and vegetable oil to China.
В послании главы государства было обозначено, что мы должны производство и экспортоориентированность агропромышленного комплекса увеличить.
President Nazarbayev indicated in his address that we should increase the number of export-oriented agricultural facilities by 2.5 times. Mangostar region has a vast potential. Horticulture, greenhouse farming, and livestock farming are well developing in the region. We are currently working on a regional development concept for the agricultural industry. We are planning to provide a lot of support measures as part of this concept. Aktyobe Flour Mill has been supplying the regional and international markets with their products for 20 years. The company exports part of its food products to Russia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan, and is building cooperation with China. The two production lines at the flour mill process 550 tons of grain per day and produce 90,000 tons of flour per year. Pasta such as kespe and jaima are also produced here.
Мы в послании главы государства услышали о том, что было поручено.
President Nazarbayev, in his State of the Nation address, instructed the government to develop new support programs for Kazakhstan's export-oriented enterprises. We are looking forward to implementation of this program in order to implement our projects at affordable rates of remuneration. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan is set to access new sales markets to export local meat products. The priority countries include China, Iran, United Arab Emirates, and Russia. Support measures for entrepreneurs will help boost the meat industry development. President Nazarbayev instructed to allocate additional 500 billion tenge to support the manufacturing industry and non-oil exports over the next 3 years. Main drivers of the Kazakh economy are export of commodities, metals, and other non-primary products. In his State of the Nation address, the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, set goals related to supporting export-oriented enterprises and promoting Kazakh business abroad. The world markets are importing resources from the metallurgical plants in the East Kazakhstan region. In the first 8 months of this year, foreign trade turnover exceeded $1.7 billion. Geography of exports and the automotive industry are being expanded. To date, contracts have been concluded to export vehicles and components to countries such as Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, the United Arab Emirates, and China. Neighboring countries are actively showing their interest in the Kazakh products. For example, a large engineering company with its own machine building complex plans to begin exporting the equipment to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan has government programs for water supply. This is directly related to our company. We produce shut-off and control equipment as well as pumping equipment. We want to participate as a supplier in these programs. Having unique natural resources and culture, Kazakhstan develops almost all types of tourism, including educational, entertainment, sports, health, retail, business, ethno, and ecotourism. One of the new areas that are developed is agri-tourism. This type of recreation is gaining popularity in the Almaty region. Tourists can visit villages and experience the lifestyle of local residents. For example, tourists from all over the world visited the largest camel farm in Kazakhstan. They observed the process of animal keeping. The tourists are taught to prepare shubat, which is fermented camel milk, and ride horses. Director of the camel farm plans to turn his farm into an agri-tourism destination. He says that additional support from the state will help attract foreign tourists. If you rely only on your own strength, then everything can be implemented within 3 to 4 years. If there is financial support, it would be possible to accomplish everything in a year. Tourists are also attracted to the beehive assembly process. Thousands of travelers visited a bee garden located in the foothills of Alatau. I informed the visitors that there is no connection and they should come without bringing their phones. People in the city who are tired of nightclubs, cafes, taxi, long queues and offices come here to relax. There is also an opportunity to combine work and rest in apple orchards and vineyards in Semireshye. Last year, 680 holiday accommodations were registered in the region, whereby 1.5 million tourists visited. The future of tourism lies in the picturesque nature and rich cultural heritage of the country of the Great Steppe. Today, Kazakhstan focuses on development of tourism. Various measures are taken to improve the tourism climate at the state level. A new impetus on tourism development will be given by the industrial program that was commissioned by the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, in his State of the Nation address. The focus will be on developing inbound and domestic tourism. One of the most beautiful locations in the country is the North Kazakhstan region, which is known for its historical monuments such as Botai Settlement, the memorial complexes of Agintai and Karasai warriors, as well as the Imantau and Shalkar lakes. Next year, 10 billion tenge from budget funds will be allocated for the development of resort infrastructure. Over the past 3 years, more than 1 billion private investments have been invested in the development of the Imantau Shalkar resort zone. Last year, the state allocated over 1 billion tenge for road repairs, and in the same year, more than 3 billion tenge were allocated for capital repairs. The West Kazakhstan region is also rich with unique historical sites. The Khan's Fortress Memorial Complex is not only a historical property which belongs to Urals, but also to the whole country. The museum was built on the site of Jangir Khan's estate. In 1828, the armory of the Bukeyev Horde, the first Kazakh school, a mosque, treasury, and an archive were opened. Since then, cultural values have been developed. Today, the area became a center of attraction for local and foreign tourists. I could not hold back my tears when I arrived at the cemetery. There are so many tombs of famous people. Next to Jangir Khan, Davletkere was buried, and next to him, Salik Babajanov was buried. Experts highlight the great tourist potential in the region. Beautiful architecture and rich history attract many travelers. A total of 45,000 tourists visited Urals in the second quarter of this year, out of which 10,000 were foreign tourists. The current focus is on infrastructure development in order to increase the region's tourism attractiveness.
Для развития в области туризма проводится...
Comprehensive and systematic work is conducted for development of the tourism industry. 3 new 4- and 5-star hotels are being built. These are hotel franchise. The mausoleum of the Taksai princess was established in western Kazakhstan as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. The facility is 7 meters tall and 4 meters wide. The tomb is located near the Dolinnoe village. The burial site of the young woman dates back to 5th century BC. Historians believe that the finding belongs to Savroman and Sarmatian cultures. Also, the restored sculpture Altyn Khan Shaim was presented to scholars in many countries and was exhibited in the British Museum, China, Azerbaijan, Russia, and Korea. At the burial site, archaeologists discovered more than 1,000 valuable artifacts, including bronze arrowheads, horse harnesses, gold jewelry, bone and wood, and ritual artifacts. The princess dates back to the 6th to 5th centuries BC and represents the late Sarmatian period. Archaeologists discovered many gold jewelry items at her burial ground. There are 119 jewelry pieces with a total weight of about 3 kilograms. It is interesting that the pit itself was shaped as a quadriga chariot which carried her away towards the sunset. The walls of the pit have decorations of sun and rays. We discovered a lot of ritual items at the burial site. 49 sites of Akmola region were also included in the map of Kazakhstan's holy sites. The landmarks are located in Yerementau, Sandiktau, Zerendi, and Atbasar districts. The holy sites include the burial site of Wali Khan, the eldest son of Ablai Khan and grandfather of Shokan Walikhanov. Wali Khan is the only Kazakh Khan buried in his homeland. From now on, tourists visiting Akmola region have the opportunity to visit the holy site. Improvements such as lighting, pavilions and pavements built around the tomb were made for visitors. The site was included in the travel destinations as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. There are many historical and cultural sites in Akmola region, including 1,032 local scale sites, 4 Republican scale sites, and 558 sites under the preliminary registration. There are people all over the world who prefer extreme conditions looking for these spiritual sites. Kazakh and Chinese artworks were presented in Astana at a joint exhibition of the artists of the two countries. The exposition was organized by the Institute of Oil Painting of Hong Kong and the Public Association of Astana. The works of the artists differ in style and technique, but with common topics. For example, member of China Artists Association Guang Huncheng have works dedicated to cave paintings. According to the organizers, the exhibition will contribute to the strengthening of intercultural dialogue between the two countries. There are 7,000 cave paintings in Yingshan Mountains in Inner Mongolia of northern China. I visited this area several times and was inspired by petroglyphs. In the future, with Kazakh artists, I plan to create a new exhibition related to petroglyphs in Kazakhstan and China. The goal of art is to evoke bright feelings in a person. This can be done in different ways. Different techniques with different genres can be used. This exhibition presents my work. I depicted an image of an ancestor of Korkit who is well known in all Turkic countries. An international tournament of eagle hunters in commemoration of Kuntugan Tokti Bayuli was held in Akmola region for the first time. 30 contestants were competing in the tournament. This year's event can be called an international tournament since a team from Mongolia is competing this time. In addition, we made minor changes. First, we introduced a common standard for the bird's flight and return time. Second, if the bird does not immediately land on a hare or a fox, the team will not get points. The The competition consisted of several stages. The jury evaluated various skills of hunting birds. The golden eagles' performance was determined by the results of the wolf and hare hunting. 19-year-old Bak Daulet Babajan from Jambil region was the winner among 10 finalists. According to the eagle hunter, he believed in his victory and his bird. My 3-year-old bird's name is Joly. It is a multiple champion of Kazakhstan. There are about 60 professional eagle hunters in Kazakhstan. They strive to preserve the national traditions and share their skills with the younger generation.